Yes. And we talked about this before, but you were fine with recording it. So I hope that everyone online is also fine recording it. Please raise your voice if it's not fine to record, or if anyone in the room here is not fine to record. This is SLU policy. I need to ask anyone, and you're fine to say no. Okay, thank you very much. Yes. Okay, welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Good morning, everybody. And I'd just like to say thank you so much to Lerato and Eric for the invitation. It's really nice for me to be away from Zoom meetings, and I think we're really privileged to be able to meet in person. It seems to be something that doesn't happen that much these days, so this is a really nice opportunity to meet new friends and colleagues. My name is Andrew Bennett. I see there's quite a lot of time and I only have a few slides, so I thought I'd tell you a little bit about myself. For many years I worked for the company Monsanto, and my role was largely involved in launching and later the stewardship of GMO products, biotech products. I then left Monsanto and was appointed in September last year as the general manager of SABO. It was a new appointment for SABO. So I'm really very new to biologicals as well. They're not completely foreign, but there's so much to learn, and I'm hoping to learn a lot from you all today as well. So with this invitation, I thought it would be good to just share what SABO stands for. I might need some help here, Eric.
Let's see. It's just can be that I was in the Zoom control now.
Thank you. So, thank you. I thought I'd just tell you a little bit about SABO, the South African Bioproducts Organization, a little bit about the history and origin, code of ethics. There's a memorandum of incorporation and what the membership looks like, and then what we believe might be the benefits for various organizations in joining SABO. So this organization was established in 2013, so it's not that old, and it was established to represent the bioproduct industry as a whole in its dealings with local and international role players in the industry. It's a link between the government, the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development, and the Department of Health. In the bioproduct industry, as well as SABO representatives, so myself and the board of SABO cooperate and liaise with the department, in particular with special reference to agricultural inputs and plant health. So I think some of the things you mentioned already, Eric, that we've identified at SABO as being really critical, which you mentioned just now as the regulatory process, and I think that is, if we can make some progress around that, that would be really valuable. The other thing that's quite interesting as well, but maybe that's more of a South African perspective, is our Act 36 of 1947, which is the act that covers the registration of all agricultural inputs, basically, is really struggling a little bit at the moment. They're not getting through all the work. I think there have been some comments recently on carte blanche about how old the legislation is, but I think they got that all wrong because there have been numerous amendments to that legislation. So I don't think that's the issue, but I do think, and this is my personal opinion, that the Act covers a really wide, I mean, it's all agricultural inputs from stock remedies through fertilizers and then the normal pesticides that some of us are more aware of and so on. It might be valuable to try and divide that Act up into more focused parts or legislation, I don't know. Anyway, SABO aims to grow the industry by promoting general public knowledge of the benefits of these products, and it's a representative body that that, as I say, represents the entire industry: manufacturers, marketers, researchers, users of bioproducts, and so on. It's an organization that's run by the members, and it's open to anybody that has an interest in the biotech or the bioproduct industry. SABO has a code of ethics that's very important. If you sign up as a member, you have to agree to this code of ethics. And the aim is really to be recognized as the principal representative of this part of the agricultural industry. The objectives are to promote the bioproduct industry, to promote products that are developed based on sound scientific research and that are fully compliant from a regulatory perspective, and to serve as a platform for its members to engage with various stakeholders. All members of SABO must operate in an ethical manner to promote the bioproduct industry, and we need to be recognized for taking stewardship in particular very importantly, or treating that very importantly. There's a code of ethics and conduct document, and this aims to encourage members to operate within the regulatory framework, conducting business in an ethical manner and upholding the highest level of ethics in their businesses. It's a non-profit organization with members and was established to further the common interests of its members, as I've said before. So the objectives of SABO include promoting the industry in accordance with international best practice, promoting high levels of professionalism and competence, setting the standard for proper conduct and practice within its members, representing the industry in its dealings with local and international role players, promoting general public knowledge of the benefits and products of this group of products, byproducts, promoting research and development and training, and cooperating and liaising with the registrar in terms of this Act 36 that I've just mentioned. The Memorandum of Incorporation was adopted by the members in accordance with Section 16(1)(c) of the Companies Act in January 2019. So you can see there was a whole lot of meetings around 2013 between the industry members and government, and they've agreed to put this organization together, but the actual incorporation was only about 6 years later in 2019. So in reality, it's a very young organization, but there's a lot of enthusiasm in it. The members and the board members that I interact with and have started interacting with are very enthusiastic and passionate. They come from a wide range of, how shall I say, product companies, if I can put it that way. So they're guys that are into macrobials and marketing and selling and producing insect parasites and parasitoids, right through to guys that sell inoculants and rhizobia and whatever. So it's a very broad spectrum of members. If we have a look at our membership, we currently have 47 members, and you can see that they are made up of, and for this I need to put my glasses on because I'm getting old. So the manufacturers, distributors and marketers, they make up 29 of the 47 members. There are 10 industry consultants. There's 6 academic researchers or universities that are members. These are South African members. And there are 2 grower associations. So when I say grower associations, it's quite specific. So it's like people that produce strawberries or people that produce berries or so on like that. There are various levels of membership in the organization. So a university or a recognized learning institution, the cost would be 1,000 rand per annum. If you're a consultant or an individual that wants to be a member, that's 2,000 rand an annum. And then there's a sliding scale for commercial enterprises, ranging from 5,000 up to 20,000 rand an annum, depending on that company's turnover. So what would be the benefits of joining SABO? As we say, we believe we're the link between the Department of Agriculture and the industry. We have a number of work groups within the organization. So we have the board, and then we have a number of working groups Currently, there are 3 working groups. The one is a regulatory working group. The second one is a marketing and promotion kind of working group. It's really about promoting the bioproduct industry as a whole. And the third group, which has recently been established, is about education and training around bioproducts, I beg your pardon. We have been able to interact with the registrar and various other groups. SABO is also a member of another group in South Africa called SAFE, the Strategic Agricultural Inputs Forum. There are 7 industry organizations that are a member of SAFE, and they interact at a very high level with the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. And the idea behind that is to really try and see what industry can do to help unblock the log jams that are currently being experienced in Act 36. So that's quite a big part of what we're doing at the moment because of the circumstances. We aim to create a forum in which people working in the field of bioproducts can regularly meet with colleagues in appropriate meetings and in annual congresses. We're working on training agents in crop protection, particularly focused on bioproducts. And we're also a proud member of Bioprotection Global, BPG, which is a worldwide federation of biocontrol and biopesticide industry associations. So that's really, I think, all that I have to say today. What I'm really pleased to be here and really looking forward to learning a lot. And as I say, I'd just like to kind of encourage and highlight and emphasize this real importance around the regulatory pathways. Now, I don't know how other Southern African countries treat bioproducts, and hopefully we can learn about that a bit. But I do think there's definitely a place where it doesn't need to be as onerous and rigorous as for the more toxic synthetic kind of pesticides. And I think this is a real opportunity for bioproducts, is if we can make that regulatory process simpler and more streamlined without giving up any of the safety aspects of that. There's a real opportunity for the bioproduct industry to make huge gains that would be beneficial to everybody. And, yeah. So thank you very much, Eric. That's my deal. I don't know if there are any questions on that.
Thank you very much, Andrew. I think you can stay on here if there are a few questions for you. And I should see if the mics are available for the audience. They are. Brilliant. So we will pass around mics so you can ask questions.
Thank you very much, Andrew, for the great presentation. My name is Mulimi and I'm from UNISA, and I have a question based on the presentation that you made. I want to know, how does SABO get involved in growing, in promoting, and promoting general public knowledge?
Yeah.
How are they involved?
Yeah.
And as my second question is that I see that you're saying that you support the register of agricultural inputs as well as getting the products to the market. Since the process, for example, if you want to register a specific product, it's a long process and it involves money as well. How are you involved in that process and also getting it to the market? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the questions. So the first question was really around promoting bioproducts in the bioproduct industry. So as I say, I'm very new at this, in this organization at the moment, but we do have a working group called the Marketing and Promotions Working Group, and we really, we've just sent out a questionnaire to all our members, and we've got the feedback from that. But our main approach is going to be via our website, which I probably should have put up on the presentation, so I apologize for that. But there is a website, www.sabo.org, I think it is, or otherwise it's .co.za. But if you Google SABO, S-A-B-O, you'll find it, and you'll get quite a picture of what's going on in there with more detail than what I've given you this morning. Our main focus is going to be through the website, and we, in conjunction with a third working group that we have around training and education, we plan to develop a number of articles, research work, and so on that will be, let's say, made available on the website for people to get hold of. We've identified a number of different levels around this. So the more technical and research members, let's say, in our organization really want research kind of quality work being up there, but there's another group that really feels, and I think it relates back to your comment just now on perspectives and perceptions, that we need a basic understanding and a basic kind of level of information that we give out for the general public so that they understand what bioproducts are and so on. So there's a kind of we're working on the two different sort of aspects there. The second question that you had was around interacting with Act 36 and whatever. So there are a number of levels that this interaction has taken place of. As I said, firstly, we're a member of SAIF, Strategic Agricultural Inputs Forum, and we give technical input there as to what a regulatory system should look like. We also interact directly with another industry organization called FERTASA, which is the fertilizer people in this country. So up to now, and to a large extent, most of the bioproducts have really been slotted in under Group 3 fertilizers. So there's a task group at the moment that's looking at a revision of the Group 3 fertilizer piece of the regulations under Act 36. I have not yet been able to be part of one of those working group meetings yet, so I can't give you any detail on that. But I believe there has been a lot of progress made, and some draft regulations have been presented to the registrar, as far as my knowledge goes, or is about to be. And so our kind of modus operandi at SABO is absolutely to cooperate with the registrar and to try and be of assistance in making the whole process much more streamlined. As I say, I'm still fairly fresh to this, but the kind of idea that I have, I don't know if it's possible or not, would be to have a whole arm in the regulatory process that is devoted solely to bioproducts. And so we don't get tied up with some of the more toxic products, perhaps, and so try and, facilitate an easier process. Now, as I said earlier, I really think that if we can achieve that somehow as an industry, it really presents a really nice opportunity for the bioproduct industry, for maybe bigger companies that are focused more on the synthetic pesticides. If they see this is an easier route to get a product out into the market, I think there could be a lot of benefit in general for that. So I hope I haven't been waffling too much and I kind of answered your question. Thank you. There we go.
Yeah, I think my question is also similar to the regulatory process, but largely with perception again. Generally, especially at this point in time, there is this perception that regulatory, not only perception, but it's practically on the ground as well, that bioproduct regulatory organizations or support organizations largely are like a red tape for those who would like to make good in it. For instance, if you take the medicinal plant industry, that the traditional community use largely a bioproduct, it is extremely simple for a coordinator organization to legally or illegally trade, process, and do everything with the medicinal plant industry, whereas the poor communities who are cultivating or harvesting them in the wild, they can literally not be able to even get a product in the market.
Yeah.
We support a lot of farmers in this area, and the biggest challenge, I get several phone calls. We have 3,000 kilograms of this, 2,000 kilograms of that. There is this bioprospecting permit, there is this Nagoya protocol, there is this SAPRA. It's just a nightmare for an ordinary citizen to really even make an impact in a bioproduct industry. Yeah. So what would the role of SABO be in terms of really arresting this negative perception? And because now the people out there think that the moment they see this bioproduct regulatory organization, oh, okay, this is another organization that is trying to keep us out in the bay. And how are you really navigating
that's a really good question, and it's a tough question, and I don't think I have an answer for you. I think as an industry body, and as I've mentioned here, I think we have to work within the legislation of the country as it stands. And I think that would be SABO's, well, it would be SABO's position. However, within that kind of, in those fora, I think there's a real opportunity for SABO to try and influence thinking. And so currently, as I showed you, most of our members are, let's say, commercial stroke researcher kind of members, and this kind of question or issue hasn't really come up in the membership. I think it's a very valid one, so perhaps it would be good to get some members that are looking at this kind of aspect into the organization so that they start working on it. As I say, we have 47 members. They're not huge. We don't have buckets of money like CropLife and all the other bigger industry bodies, but we're good and we're sustainable, and we can certainly look into these various aspects. Yeah. I'm sorry, it's probably not a good answer, but it's the best I can do at the moment. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, is that good? Thank you very much. If there are no more questions right now, Andrew is still around for the discussion, so you can ask the questions later as well. Thank you very much, and a very interesting discussion as well.